Welcome everybody. This is Chris from Docketwise, and I'm pleased that you were able to attend our webinar on our new features roundup. So in this webinar, we will be covering some of our most recent features, which include but are not limited to custom columns in dashboards and reports, portal auto sharing, indicating related contacts, files and folders, expiry date reminders, the IME Translate integration, custom attributes, the HR portal, Quickbooks integration, two-factor authentication, firm branches, as well as user permission groups. So let's get started with custom columns. With custom columns, you can easily add, remove, and reorder the columns of your Docketwise dashboards as well as reports. So these customized column views can be set up and are unique to each firm user in your Docketwise account, allowing each user to have indicated their own customizable views. So with matter and contacts, anything related to those, I'm going to go over this in a minute, a little bit later, but we can also include custom attributes into these dashboard overviews as well as into the reports. So let's get started with just an example. I'm going to jump in and do contacts here. Let's say I want to change just how my contact dashboard appears in Docketwise. So we'll hit this little gear icon here just to get started. And let's say I want to include the A number here. And I also want to include, let's say, we're also going to do date of hire here as well. Date of hire, just on a side note, is a custom field that I had made for contacts. And like I said, I'm going to get to custom attributes just a little bit later, but just wanted to let you know that this is one of the custom attributes that I had made. So let's say I want to reorder email to be above the phone numbers. Let's say I don't need the daytime phone number here. I just want to have the mobile phone number here. And let's actually say I want to include the home phone number too. So I'm going to search for that. We have home phone number right here. I'll select this and just drag and drop it right below the mobile phone number. So let me just X out of my little search bar here. And I will save and update my view on the contact dashboard. So here you can see I now have the name followed by the email, followed by mobile phone number, home phone number. And then also I added in here alien registration number, which I haven't yet indicated for these contacts, as well as the date of hire, which is a custom field I had made for my contacts. So now let's jump into actually reporting to see how this looks. I'll click on create new. Click on report, of course. And let's say I want to customize how my invoice reports look. So I'll just choose the report that I want to customize. Let's say I want to make and then customize invoices over time. Now, of course, here we are. I don't have many invoices in here quite yet, but what we're going to do is just click the gear icon for these results. And we will customize what is actually coming up here. So let's say I want to also include, let's say, invoice number, status, as well as when it was last updated. So if you want to go ahead and maybe change things around here, I can add or remove anything. If I want to reorder them, I can just simply drag and drop. So let's say I want the total to be right after client. And then we can have the type here, the matter associated. Let's say we want the issue date down here with the updated date. And also I will put the status here. So we'll have client, their name, the total. Actually, I don't like that. I'll put matter back up here. So we'll have client matter, the total, the status of it, and also the type of invoice it was. That would be whether it's a trust request or whether it's a bill. So I'll go ahead, click update here, save my preferences. So any report I'll make here or any report I export for invoices over time will include these custom columns that I have just added, I've rearranged them, etc. Just depending on what I would like to see in my reports, basically. So next, we'll jump over to a new pretty cool feature. As you all know, we have the client portal where we can easily collaborate with our clients. But now we actually have the ability to automatically share any newly created resources into the client portal. So these options can actually be set at the firm-wide level. So we would have this automatically when a client has their client portal activated. We would automatically see the selection for what we want to share And we can also set that at the individual level. So let's just first, we're going to jump into let's say at the firm-wide level for how we want this to appear for all of our client portals. So let's just say I want tasks to automatically share once they're made in Docketwise, and I want forms to automatically share when they're made within Docketwise. Actually, let's go tasks and invoices. So I'll save these changes. And now any portal that I activate and then I make those subsequent resources will be automatically put into the corresponding client's portal. So we'll go back to client or contacts, and I'll just select one at random, hoping they don't have a client portal already activated. So let's go to, let's say Tammy. We'll go to a portal. She does not have a portal yet. So just to, of course, set this up, I'll allow the portal access. It's going to be a standard portal, and then I'll just hit submit. So now you see here, we actually have these options that I had indicated in the firm-wide settings. But now I can actually customize these if I'd like. Let's say for this particular client, I don't want them to automatically have tasks shared. I could click that off. Or let's say I want forms to automatically share. I can click that off at the individual level. So this contact is or is not receiving things that are created automatically, just depending on the case-by-case basis. So let's say these are good. My preferences have saved. So I'll go ahead and let's create some tasks. So say birth certificate, passport, just some basic documents. So birth certificate, current passport, expired passport. Let's just say I'm going to make those 3 tasks, and they're going to automatically share into the client's portal. So we'll preview the portal here. As you can see, these 3 tasks were automatically uploaded into the client's portal upon creating them. It would also be the same for other things that I indicated as well. So let me go ahead and show you a form. So let's just revisit. You see I have no forms here. And let's say I'm going to make a form. Let's just say, just for example's sake, it's an N400. Applying for naturalization, make an N400. Of course, I'll assign it to her matter. I'll create a new matter for her and create that new matter. And of course, Tammy will be the beneficiary for these forms. So I'll create this. And once it's created, it will automatically be shared with the client via the client portal. So let's refresh the client portal preview, and we can see that this form is now appearing for them. So now let's jump into indicating related contacts. So in Docketwise, you're able to indicate relations between contacts. Once these relations are indicated, Docketwise will automatically reflect the relation for the related contact as well. Also, Docketwise will know to include these related contacts in any forms that are made. And you are able to set relations for companies and people. So for companies, you are able to set who are their employees. And for a person, you are able to set relations such as who is their family member. You'll indicate that familial relationship. And you're also able to connect relations, let's say, for employers and schools as well. So let's just jump into an example. I'll go to an existing client, Patricia Patel. And let's say I want to indicate some related contacts. She'll also be applying for naturalization. And she gave me some family information up front. And I would just like to include that information just before we get started. So I'll create these familial relationships for her. I'll add the husband. So I just click create new from related contacts, click create new, and let's say spouse. So I'll click spouse, and I'll be able to create one new here. So let's say it's Peter Patel as the spouse. I could put an email address in here as well. So let's just say any email address, I guess here will do for the example. And I could also put in the date of marriage, etc. Let's say I'm not going to do that yet. I'll just make the spouse. And here I will also create 2 children for them. So we have the first child, let's say we want to name them Patrick Patel. I could also indicate some other information here, but just for time's sake, I will just save it with the name. And let's say I'll create the daughter as well. So choose create new child, and let's say Penny Patel. So we have all of their information here. And I'll go ahead and make an N400 just to show how those relationships will be showing up automatically on that form. So N400. And then it's for Patricia Patel, of course. We'll make a new matter for her and create that matter. And finally, we'll be choosing Patricia as the beneficiary for these forms. So let's review it 1 second and we're good to go. Click create form. And then we'll jump in just to show how these relationships are populated. So we'll go to this information for the individual family. And we can see that already we have Peter Patel entered in as the current spouse. And if we go down here, we will also see the children entered for Patrick Patel and Penny Patel. Now let's jump over for an example. Let's say with a company we have created in Docketwise. So I'll just jump over to Employer Corp and go into their Employees tab from their Contact Overview page. Here, I'm actually going to import, let's say I have a client who he had worked with us before, I'd already entered him in, and now a company wants to petition for him. So I'll click Import, and I can select any of my existing contacts as well as search for them. I will choose Luca here and import Luca as an employee. Now let's say I also want to just create another contact while I'm here. Let's say Ryan Rodriguez, and let's give him an email address. All right, and we'll save this. So now just to show this relationship here, I'll go over to Ryan in Docketwise. And then we'll be able to see this, that it is already showing up here. So let me just go to work and school. And we can see that this is already listed as an employer for Ryan after having indicated that contact with the company. Now let's jump into files and folders. So with files and folders, with this feature, it is easier than ever to actually maintain organization for your uploaded files within Docketwise. Folders can be made and assigned according to the following parameters. Let's say you want an unassigned folder. This would be a folder that's not related to a contact or a matter. And we can also make folders that are assigned to a specific contact as well as assigned to a specific matter. So I'll show the first example. Let's jump into the files dashboard and I'll create a new folder here. So I'll just click this new button right here, do folder. And let's say I want to name this just for my firm. It's not going to be related with any matters, any contacts. So I'll just name this policies. I guess let's say policies and procedures. So this will just be non-related to any contact, and it will just be for internal use with my firm members. So I'll upload this here, create the folder, and then now we have a central place to be storing all of this just for internal use. Now let's say we want to make a folder for a specific matter. Let's say we can do that as well. So I'll go to the matters dashboard. This is just, of course, one of the ways to access the matter. And I'll go to Patricia Patel's naturalization application. From here, I'll click the Files tab. And then I can create new files for this matter, or new folders, sorry, for this matter. So I'll make a new folder here. Let's just say I'm going to do the standard documents, forms, and then receipts and notices. So I'll put in documents. I'll make another folder for forms. This is just where we're going to be storing the signed forms from our client. And as you can see, since I'm in this matter, it's actually assigning it automatically to that matter, and then the matter's primary contact as well. So I'll create a forms folder here. And let's say receipts and notices. And we'll make this folder. Let's say I have a lot of documents and I want to keep those organized, of course, as well. So I can actually create subfolders in documents. How I'd want to do that is, of course, open up the folder in which I'd like to create these subfolders. And let's start creating new folders inside of this folder. So inside of documents, I want to create IDs and certificates, let's say. IDs and certificates. I can create another folder. Let's just say in this hypothetical scenario, she's doing naturalization, and it's based on 3 years of permanent residency as well as marriage to a United States citizen. So we're also going to need a bunch of bona fide evidence. So let's make a bona fide folder here. And I'll go ahead and save that. And let's say also maybe a few brushes with the law. So we have some court documentation that we would also need to submit with this application in this particular case. So let's just say court docs. Let's call it court documents. And we'll create this as well. So now let's go back. We can go see all files, all folders here. And then I have a nice little place to keep every single file related with this matter in a nice organized fashion. So when we get the license, the passport, etc., that will just go under IDs and certificates. All of tax returns, tax filings, joint bank account statements, etc. I will be putting in bona fide marriage evidence, court documents just for this particular case. I'll be putting in the court documents that are necessary. And now let's jump to expiry date reminders. So with this feature, you are able to keep track of your client's upcoming expiry dates through automatic calendaring and notification reminders. For each of the expiry date types, you can indicate the following information, which are the event calendar, how long before the expiry date you would like to have the notification sent, recipients of the reminder. This can be admin, all firm members, assignees, etc. And then finally, after setting up the expiration date settings for any given expiry date type, an event and a reminder for that event will automatically be created after being added to the contact corresponding to that expiry date. So let's just jump in. The first place we want to go to set this up would just be settings, and then we'll go to expiry date reminders. So I don't have any set up quite yet, but let's say I want to set one up for US status expiry. So here you can see all the options that I just mentioned. I can choose the expiry date type. We have US expiry date, advanced parole expiry, as well as many other options. So I'll just choose this one for this particular scenario. I'll choose the calendar and put it in expiry date reminders calendar, which is one I had made. And let's say the frequency, this is just how long before the expiration you would like to be reminded. So I'll choose a month before. And let's say just to notify all members of the firm, just so we can make sure that it doesn't slip through the cracks. And then we'll save this reminder. Okay. So next, we will just go and see this in action. So let's set a date for one of our clients, say Pamela Perez, and we'll go to her expiry dates. So we have these right here. The expiry dates on her current US status, let's say that's going to be on September 18th this year. So here we go. We have it setting a reminder automatically. And then once that's set, we can just jump over into the events calendar and see that there as well. And we will choose this right here. So we have it on expiry date reminders. We have a reminder set for 1 month before, and we will be getting that, I guess, let's say on August 18th. So this is good to go. Let's say if I want to, I could set it for a matter as well. Let's just say, yeah, that's her B2 status, let's say. So then we have this all good to go. Now let's jump into our integration with IMI Translate. So now for this one, let's also go to Pamela Perez. And now with this integration with IMI Translate, it allows you to send documents directly from your Docketwise account to IMI Translate so that they may be translated. Once your translation is completed and approved, IMI Translate will automatically send the translated documents back into your Docketwise account. So now just for the demonstration here, let's go to the files for Pamela Perez. I have a birth certificate here. Let's say that I need this translated. So I'll click this checkbox. I'll choose more actions, and I'll click the option for translate with IMI Translate. So now once I'm here, we see that we already have this document. Let's say we're good to go, and we want to proceed to the next step. We'll have this all set up. We're going to be choosing certified translation. And we would also indicate the language we're going from and the language we're translating to. We would like it translated to. So we would go through all of this workflow, and then we would proceed to the next step. And of course, we would just enter in our payment details and finish filling out a few more details to have that done. So next, we can actually jump in to custom attributes. So with custom attributes, you are able to create customizable fields in Docketwise for contacts and matters. These custom attributes can be tracked and filled out on Contacts or Matters overview page. They can be asked in custom intakes to be filled out by clients. They can be included in automated templates. So for those of you who don't know what automated templates are, this is just our way of basically creating a templated docx file or a Word file, and then having that fill in automatically with merge tags that are corresponding to values that are existing in Docketwise. Let's say the name, the address, phone number, physical address, etc. We have a very large list of what can be used for that, and this now includes all custom attributes that you and your firm will be making. And finally, the custom attributes can be reported on and utilized as filters in matter reports and contact reports as well for contacts. So let's just start out with a quick demonstration of this. I will go to settings. And let's say I want to add a question that will be, let's say, just hypothetically, we can make this either way. So we can just say, do you have any other family members that will be applying for TPS as well? So let's just choose a Boolean, which is true, false. And we'll choose this to be of contacts. And the other for TPS. This is just a custom attribute I'll be using for TPS cases, but we'll make that here. So this is my new custom attribute I have. I made it a Boolean, of course, which is a true or false. I can show you the other options as well. We have a text where text can be entered as a response, number, of course, where number can be entered as a response, date, where they have a calendar selection, Boolean gives you a true false response, and list will give you a list of options to choose from. So just to show you real quickly a list one, I have source here, which is where the, let's say the lead or the customer came from. So I just have some options here. This is just where our advertising is, let's say, and I want to find out where each one is coming from. I can have actually, if I'd like to, I can fill that information out myself, or even have my clients respond to that question and have that saved within Docketwise. So now let's jump into this within a custom intake. These can be included in custom intakes. So let's go to custom intakes. Let's say I want to just add this question to my Venezuela TPS lead intake. This is just something I would be sending out to my leads for Venezuelan TPS. So I would like to include that new custom question. I'll go to the custom tab and go down to this new question. So I can change the question here. Do you have any other family members that will be applying for TPS? I'll say I also want to make that in Spanish as well. I can type in the Spanish here. So I'm trying to remember the correct alt code for that upside down question mark, but I cannot find it. And I'll add that question as well. And now I'll just click this to enable it. And then you can see I have it down in my custom questions for this custom intake. Say I want to put this right here, and then we have all of those ones right here. So let's say this is good. It automatically saves. And now I will make this. Let's say I want to make a new intake for one of my leads. Let's say I'll choose the custom intake. That would be Venezuela TPS lead intake. I'll send it to this contact, and I will put it, I'll associate it with his matter. And then, of course, he'll be the primary contact for all forms. So I'll create this form. And then we can go ahead and see the information that will be asked of him on his questionnaire. So let me just go back here. Okay, And now just for automated templates, just to give you an example of what this is, I have an example open. This is what I went ahead and highlighted. You wouldn't generally be highlighting these fields when you're making a custom intake or when you're making an automated template. I just wanted to show you where they were appearing before I had made this. So this is the custom template or automated template that I would be uploading to Docketwise. And then once it's uploaded, I would just do create new template. For example, I would put in the information here. I would indicate the contact, indicate the matter if necessary, and then I would choose the automated template. So after uploading, after doing that, I would then download a copy with the information filled in from that contact and matter, which would appear like this. And this is what we have. And after running it, we would have all this information automatically filled in. Now, finally, let's jump over to reports. So of course, just create new report. And let's say I want to do it for contacts. And I want to do this for contacts just to see where I'm getting my business from. So as I had shown before, I have that source custom attribute, which is telling me where my contacts or where my business is coming from essentially. So I would just go into contacts over time, and then I could filter by attribute. Let's say I just want to filter by source, and then I could just choose the source and run the filter. So anyone coming from a Facebook ad, I'd want to see who's coming up from a Facebook ad. And just click that, and that is how that works. So next we'll jump into our QuickBooks integration actually. So Docketwise integrates with QuickBooks Online so that all invoices, payments, and trust account transactions are created and synced in your QuickBooks Online account. So you can pay any invoice bills made within Docketwise will automatically create a synced copy in your QuickBooks Online account, including all charges for services, expenses, as well as discounts. Any edits made to the invoice within Docketwise will then be synced over into QuickBooks. And for trust requests, this will not be recorded under sales as an invoice, but rather this will be recorded in the journal. Since we don't actually have any money coming into our operating or business account, this is just being tracked inside of the journal. So let's make a new bill. Let's say we're going to be doing this one for Employer Corp. And let's say that we want to bill them for a case that we're working on with one of their clients. So I'm going to create a new matter for them actually first. So I'll create a new matter. This one be for Ryan Rodriguez and Employer Corp. So I have everything I need here. Let's just say I'll create this matter. And from this matter, I will create my bill for them. So create new invoice. And we have everything we need here. So it's going to be billed to Employer Corp as a bill, not a trust request, and it is for this matter. So let's say we want to make this, we'll add a charge here, attorney's fees. Say it's for $3,500. We'll add ordinary costs here. Let's say it's for $200. And then since this already has charges made, it will appear automatically in my QuickBooks account. So let's jump over. We'll go to sales, invoices, and we can see that this is now showing up here. So this is the invoice. If I actually click the pencil icon, I can open that invoice. So we see the ordinary cost for $200. We see the attorney's fees for $3,500. Let's say I'm going to go ahead and record a payment here. I'm going to have it go to my operating account. Let's say the payment date was today, and let's just say it was paid in full. So we'll save that payment. And we'll head back into QuickBooks. Just make sure I'm out of here and refresh it. So now we can see that the status is coming back as paid for Employer Corp's invoice. We'll click on this so we can see all of those details. So we can see right here, all of these. Amount received, 3,700. Next, actually, let's jump over and we'll create a trust request. Let's say for Patricia Patel, she's ready to pay her filing fees. And we will just make an invoice so we can have those. So we'll open up her matter. We'll create a new invoice. Patricia Patel, we're going to have this be a trust request actually. And let's save it at the client level. And we'll of course be doing that for 725. And we will create that invoice. So this trust request will actually not be showing up in QuickBooks until we receive a payment. Since no amount has been paid, there's no reason to be reflecting that within the journal. So now let's make sure we have everything correct here. Let's just say we're going to do this for filing and biometrics fees. And we'll record a payment. So we'll put that into the trust account, have that be dated today, and save the payment. So now let's jump back into QuickBooks. To find the journal, you'll just simply go to Reports and click on the option for Journal. I have it starred just so it shows up on the top. Now once in Journal, this will be showing up at the bottom. So we can see that we received $725 into our trust account. Now once this is dispersed, that will also be showing up there. Now, let's actually jump into our next feature, which is the HR portal. So with the HR portal, you can use this to share employees and associated resources to your corporate clients portal. In the HR portal, you can organize tasks, forms, and questionnaires, USCIS receipts, invoices, files, as well as the status of the employees' matters by employees, so that their corporate client can easily keep track, stay organized, and stay up to date of all of the happenings with the petitions and applications pertaining to their employees. So when sharing anything into the corporate client's HR portal, any of these tasks, forms, USCIS receipt notices, invoices, files, etc., can be simultaneously shared to the foreign national employee in their own client portal as well. So now let's just say I'm going to go over and just create some resources that can be shared. Let's see, for this, create some stuff here. Forms, create a new form. We'll do the H-1B petition. Beneficiary will be Ryan. And of course, the petitioner will be Employer Corp. Let's go ahead and create this. Let's go to Portal, see how this looks at the moment, and I can show you how it looks after we share things. So as you see, all of these employees have already been added here. We have tasks, we have all this other, and then it's also broken up by clients. So if I go to Andy Ames, this is just showing things, resources in this portal for this particular employee. So let's go back. We're going to go back and go to the employees. Let's say I want Ryan Rodriguez as to be showing up here as well as Luca. So that hasn't been done. Let's just do Ryan Rodriguez. So I'll go to the employees for Employer Corp, click More Actions after checking the box and click Share to Portal. So here I'll be sharing this employee to the HR portal for this specific company. Now that that is done, I have the opportunity to also share things simultaneously with that foreign national employee. So let's first go to Forms. We'll go to actually the matter, just so it's a little more organized for doing this. I'm just going to share this one form. This would be done basically the same way, just with another additional step for sharing it with the HR portal. So More Actions, Share to Portal, and let's share it to Employer Corp. Since they have an HR portal, some more options will appear here. So this, if we want to also send it, if we want to associate it with a specific employee, we'll enter their name here, Ryan Rodriguez. And if we check this box, it will automatically share that to his portal as well. Let me have his email address just to verify that before sharing, and we'll do submit. Let's say we have, let's just say we also want to share a task. I can then also share this to the HR portal. So let's say this will be for Employer Corp, of course. And I'll choose Ryan as the employee. And if I want to also share it to his foreign national portal, I would just click this one as well. So here we go. And let's jump back over to Employer Corp's HR portal. So let's go back to their contact overview and click on portal here. And then I can preview this portal. So we see Ryan Rodriguez. Let's click on this name just to see the things that were shared for him. So we have that task and we have those forms as well. Next, we're actually going to jump into our two-factor authentication feature. So to get this set up, this is done under settings, under two-factor authentication. Here you would just enter in your phone number and then enable it. I already have it enabled, and I'm just going to show you how that works. Let me just put on the volume for my phone so you can hear the notification come in. I'm going to log out and log back in. And when I attempt to log back in, I will get a notification with a unique 8-digit code to enter to be able to finish my login process. So hit login here and just listen for the notification sound that's coming to my cell phone. There it is. All right, and I will just enter this code in. And we'll verify that and be logged in. So that is how two-factor authentication works. And now let's go over to firm branches. So for firm branches, you can group and sort your firm members based on their branch, whether that's their location, practice area, however you want to break it up. So not only that, but firm branches can also be used as a filter when running reports as well. So let's just set up some firm branches. Let's say I go here, I'm going to go to settings and then go to branches. I don't have any set up, but let's say I want to set up this. Let's say I have a Philadelphia and a Miami office, Miami branch. Create that branch. And let's say we also have a Philadelphia branch. All right, so now that my branches are created, I can actually start assigning users to branches. So for that, I'll go to user access, and then I will click on the pencil icon next to each user's name. And let's say Allie, she is in the Philadelphia branch. Let's say Eliana is in the Miami branch, and Oscar is in the Philadelphia branch. So I'll save these changes and we have each member already now applied to their respective branches. And as I had mentioned, this can also be showing up in reports. So I don't have information yet recorded under those users, but how we would want to do this is go to create new, select report, and then this happens. We can use this for all matter reports. We can use this for task reports. And we can also use this for user reports. So let's say we're going to go over here. Let's say matters by type. If I had matter type set up, I could just run a quick report on where the most matter or where my matter types are, which branch is handling this type of matter. So for that, I would of course select the matter type. Let's just say I want to only be showing H1Bs. And then I would filter by branch as well. So I'll just choose branch here. I would choose Miami. I just want to see what's happening in the Miami branch, and then I could later compare that to what's happening in the Philadelphia branch. And just choose update. Like I said, I don't have any data points actually entered for this, but this is how you would want to be running the report for firm branches. And finally, let's jump into user permissions or user permission groups. So with user permission groups, you can restrict your contacts and matters permissions to certain users on your account, as well as designated other account administrators. So contact and matter permissions may be assigned to a certain group of users, or just a group with a single user in it. And once that's indicated, only members within that group will be able to have permission to view that specific contact or matter. And also the administrator will be able to view any case, any matter, regardless of the restrictions or permissions that were indicated. And that would be the main admin of the account, as well as other admins that are indicated by the original account admin. So let's just jump into this. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make a user an admin right here. So let's just say edit this, and I want to make Ali an administrator as well. After that, I'll go ahead and save those changes. So now I have another admin, another user in my account with admin permissions. So let's now go to settings, and we'll jump into user groups. So let's say I want to make a user group. We'll say we have our firm members broken up based upon basically the case that they're working on. Let's do this, litigation. So we have our litigation team who will only be seeing certain cases. Let's say that's Eliana and Oscar working in litigation. Create that group. And let's say we also have benefits. So this I'll just be indicating to myself as well as Ali. And I'll create this user group here. And let's say I want to restrict matters. I don't want all my firm members to be seeing a certain matter. Let's say for this first one, of course, let's go here and change the permissions on it. This. And then, of course, permissions are on the dashboard. So right now it's public by default. Now let's say I want to make it private. So after it's made private, I can keep it private so that only admins can see it, or I could assign this to a group so that all admins can see it as well as members of a certain group. So I'll update that. And now we have it set to private. And I made a mistake there. It should only be benefits to us in this case. Let's also go to this contact as well. So I'll go ahead and also make this private. Let's say I want it to go only benefits. And then I will update this as well. So if I update a contact, after I update that contact, all of its matters where that contact is the primary contact will be falling in line with those guidelines we gave for the permissions as well. So that about does it for our webinar. I'm so glad that you were all able to attend, and I hope to see you in the next webinar. And we will be having another webinar on new features Roundup in about a quarter or so.